Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Upper Tier Podcast. It's Thursday Deer Talk, Deer Talk, I should say. I'm not being thrown off there now. But if you could subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button, drop a like on the video, share the content, follow us on all the socials, all that good stuff. Joining me after a small little sabbatical, I would say. Darren's back. How are you, my friend?
Do my eyes look very blue tonight?
They do.
They do, don't they?
They do.
Is that why they call me the Dazzler, Niall?
Diamond eyeballs.
It's good to be back, pal. It's good to be back.
It is, yeah. Well, we have a great show for you tonight. We're going to be doing a Premier League preview. Of course, we're going to be focusing mainly on the Super Sunday game, which goes without saying, probably.
Do we have to?
Us. Well, we do, because it's still, for us, the biggest game of the season, and for you. I think it's still the biggest rivalry in the league, for me.
Right now, the biggest game of the season for us is Sheffield United, because that's about the level we play at.
Anyway, let's get into the
Got to be a realist about this.
Absolutely. Joanna's here. Hello, boys. How are you, Joanne? Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Joanne. Good to have you.
Big up, Niall. Big up, Dazzler. Hope both you guys are well. Jack is in
Jack.
as well. Niall,
good to have
you
seen
that
Jack.
French young centre-back lad who we have been linked with? I haven't, Jack. I tend not to look at a lot of that stuff really until we really get closer to January, because most of it's probably nonsense. Harry Potter United. Save your thoughts for United. We'll talk about that during the Liverpool United.
If he's trying to say we're magic, I think he's overstretching things a little bit now.
You're a wizard, Harry. I was talking to our friend Ian from the Chelsea Roar today. He wants Jose Mourinho.
No, he doesn't. There's no way he wants Jose Mourinho back.
Also, not joking.
No, there's no way he asked for Jose Mourinho.
I'll tell you now, I've been listening to a number of Chelsea content creators over the last few days, all calling for Jose Mourinho to come back. So there you go.
Well, if that's what Chelsea content creators are calling for, that just goes to show you how little they fucking know about football.
Morris says, if you don't believe me, send you a screenshot.
Listen,
we have to believe him.
Listen, Ian's our boy. Ian will tell us himself.
Yeah.
We don't, Ian will tell us that if that's how he feels about the situation. But if you want Jose Mourinho back at your club, you need to have a deep, dark look inside your soul.
I think Ian mentioned Jose during the Everton game, didn't he? In our WhatsApp group. I think he did now. Don't quote me on it. I'm not sure, but here's
the boldest statement you're gonna hear on me. Probably ever. This will possibly even stretch like, the Saudis stoning me kids.
Strap yourselves in.
I think I'd prefer United to be relegated than have Jose back at the club. Fact.
Back at your club?
Yeah. I'd prefer to be relegated than have Jose Mourinho back at United. So I can't fathom why anyone would want Jose Mourinho back at that club. Can't fathom it. I don't understand it. Makes no sense to me.
Football heritage.
No. In fact, I'll tell you what. I'll go a stage further. I'd prefer the next fucking plane I get on to go down over the Atlantic than have Jose Mourinho back at Man United.
You can't say that.
I'm fucking serious.
You can't. You're not even a great swimmer. You can't say that.
I'm like Eric the Eel Moussambani. Remember Eric in the Olympics? Took him 4 days to complete a 2-length race.
Exactly. So you don't want your plane going down over the Atlantic.
Honest to God, it doesn't matter. I'll be fine. But I do not want Jose Mourinho back. And I don't know why any Chelsea fan would want him either. Because, bringing Jose back ain't going to bring Roman back. And it ain't going to bring Michael Essien. And it ain't going to bring Ricardo Carvalho and Deco and Hernan Crespo back. The glory days. You know what it's going to bring you? Misery. Shit football. 11 men behind the ball. Parking the bus. Pain. Look, pain. It's like you knew it was coming. That's what football under Jose Mourinho is like. The only fans that are anyway appeased by Jose Mourinho are the fans of a club that's underachieved for years, even decades on. Actually, you know what? Maybe he could have back.
So it was starting to sound familiar. It was starting to sound real familiar. Good Lord. So Jose back at United, that's what you want.
Oh man, that would be my idea of hell. I tell you what, I'll make one more promise to you, right?
No more plane crashes, no, please.
No. If Jose Mourinho comes back to Man United, I'll hand back me season tickets.
Coming over to us.
I'll hand back me season tickets. I will get now. You know how good my tickets are, right?
Yeah.
I will give up my season tickets if we brought Jose Mourinho back to the club. That's how strongly I feel about it.
And you coming over to us, man? Yeah.
No. I wouldn't go anywhere, but I would hand back my season tickets.
Might be what it needs.
You know, if I was going anywhere, where I'd be going. You know where I'd be going.
Absolutely.
Where would I go? Where would I go if I was going anywhere? You know where I'd go.
I'm going to take a punt at Newcastle.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Just
100%. You know, I have a special place in my heart for that space. Newcastle are just. I like Newcastle.
Yeah, struggling with their own troubles at the moment as well, though. Baz is in. Big up, Baz. Good to see you, my friend. Keith is in. What's the crack, lads? Yeah,
hey,
I'll
Keith.
send you a screenshot. You don't need them, ours.
I've no doubt.
I told him Simeone is the man.
Oh, God. No. Stop, Morris, will you?
Simeone
Jesus
Chelsea. Good Lord, imagine. Sunday marks 5 years to the day when Jose got sacked after Anfield's humiliation. Yeah, we've done a few at this stage. Poor El Ralph resigned, thank God.
Do you know what I was thinking about? I don't know why this came to my mind, actually. Because I was thinking about Jose recently, which is strange. 100%. 100%, Keith. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Come on, Keith.
Do you think Daniel Levy, right? Remember Jose got them to the El Carabao Cup final, and the week of the final, he gave Jose the heave-ho.
Yeah, 2 weeks before he bummed them off you for Ryan Mason.
Mason Ryan.
No, Mason Ryan's the wrestler.
Oh, that's him, yeah. The old Welsh Batista, remember?
Mason Ryan probably would have done a better job, let's be honest.
Let's be fair, yeah. Do you know what I was thinking? And it was a really weird thought to come across my mind at that time, because I was standing over the loo and I was holding my mate and I was having a whittle. And I thought to myself, did Daniel Levy sack Jose Mourinho just in case he won the Carabao and he had to keep him because of the fans saying, well, he won as a trophy? Did that happen? Did that happen? It did, didn't it?
There's lots of theories go around, isn't there? I mean,
did Daniel Levy sabotage his own opportunity to win a trophy just so we could get Jose out of the building?
Well, it's not like Jose went out of the building and he brought in Ancelotti or something, you know what I mean? He brought in Ryan Mason.
Daniel Levy pied off his own team in a cup final just because he knew if Jose won, the fans would want him to stay and he'd have a grace period with, having the trophy in the cabinet and all. He did that to his own team and fans. That's hardcore, isn't it?
Tell you. That's Vince McMahon levels, isn't it? That's the Montreal screw job level, isn't it?
Has Daniel Levy just gone up alongside Joseph Fritzl there? Like, is that? Jesus, man, that's unbelievable.
Dare I say they're neck and neck?
Oh, wow. Oh, that is. Oh, my God.
Right, well, listen, enough of this deflecting. Let's get into this Premier League preview. You're not getting off the hook that easy tonight. You're going to get slaughtered at some stage. So you may as well accept it.
Yeah.
Right, let's begin. Nottingham Forest versus Tottenham, Friday night.
Tottenham.
You think?
I love Ange Ball. I love Ange Ball.
Do
you love watching Ange Ball?
No.
You're joking me.
Can't stand the guy. It's what we are, mate.
Oh, no. Hang on. Let's forget Ange. I'm asking you, do you like watching Ange Ball? Now, come on. Whether you like it, listen, I'm not a Roy Keane fan,
I suppose
he
it's
he
hard.
was a top footballer.
Yeah, it's hard for me not to like it because it has
Oh,
shades of our own heavy metal football
God for
that we
that.
used to play under Klopp and stuff. But
Ooh.
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure whether it.
Now, don't forget, it wasn't Ange that did you up for the goal and stuff like that in the offside. It wasn't Ange's fault. So you
I've
can't
moved
hate
on
on
from
Ange
that
over
now.
it.
I've moved on from that now. So we're top of the league. I don't have to worry about things like that now. That's in the
I've
past.
got to say, Ange ball is super to watch. My God, is that not what you want as a football fan?
Well, I'd say it is coming from the seat that you're sitting in watching your football.
No,
100%.
no. 100. Listen, parking us completely. Like, and I've said this before, and this is my whole issue with the likes of a Jose Mourinho. It's anti-football, right? Ange isn't anti-football. Ange is total football. Ange is like all in on playing some good football. And I don't care what team he supports or what team he's in charge of. Like, it's a good brand of football to watch. You know what I mean? It's a really good brand of football to watch. Like,
it's not sustainable though if you want to win something. It will
why?
catch up on you.
Why?
Because it will catch up on you eventually, because you'll eventually come up against good teams, and good teams will cut through your press and they'll counter you and they'll open you up.
Yeah, but I mean, you could say that about anyone's tactics. You know,
100%. But I'm just look, we seen it when we used to play heavy metal football, and it was brilliant. And we were bashing teams, we were scoring 4 goals, and we were coughing up 2 or 3, and all this kind of thing. But we were winning and stuff like that, and it was exciting and it was fun and all. But it wasn't sustainable to win something. You know what I mean? And if you think about Tottenham, well, it is.
Did you not win a couple of things? Did you not win the Champions League and the Premier League?
No, not with the heavy metal football. We never won that. No, when we won those trophies, it was a very different football. It was more controlled, more structured, all that kind of stuff. We didn't win those.
I don't know whether your manager would agree with that.
Our manager would 100% agree with that, because we went through a couple of seasons of playing the heavy metal football where we came out not winning what we should have won. And then when we got into a much more structured approach with a much more focus on both ends of the pitch, we became a very different beast.
Okay, but you could also look at it from a completely different point of view, because for me, you still played heavy metal football, but you did it with Alisson and Van Dijk in your team.
Well, no,
that gave you a much better opportunity to win something, because you had 2 stopgaps in the way between, the opposition and the goal.
Well,
you put two of the best players in the world in those positions. Alisson as the keeper and Van Dijk as the centre back. That, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you is when we were playing really strong at that time, when Mane and Bobby and Salah and all were at their peak, and Hendo and Fabinho and these players were all playing really.
Sorry,
really
I just
well
have to cut you off at 1 second there. There was never a stage where Hendo was at his peak. He's a fucking donkey. Let's just go.
That's absolute nonsense. That's absolute nonsense. The year we won the league and the year we won the Champions League, that's absolute utter nonsense.
Stop that, will you?
Go back and educate yourself.
He is bluffing as a footballer.
Whatever you think about him now, and whatever you think about him over the last 2 years or whatever it was in the drop off, stop that nonsense now. Go back and educate yourself.
Once you'll hear me over 3 or 4 year period. I've never once rated Jordan Henderson. He is absolute fucking dog shit. Genuinely. As a footballer, he's dreadful.
You're wrong. He absolutely anchored the team. Go back and look at it. Go back and look at the Barcelona. Go back and look at the Barcelona 4-0 game. Go back and look at the Barcelona 4-0 game that we won at Anfield to go through, and have a look at the role that Jordan Henderson played. Absolutely.
I'm not having that.
You're talking nonsense.
Thankfully, we're at Christmas, because he's a fucking turkey. Like an absolute turkey. You're the best front three in the world at one stage. And you think it was because of Jordan Henderson you were winning fucking trophies and titles?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't say it was because of Jordan Henderson. I didn't say that. You can't put words in my mouth like that. That's not what I said.
Whoa.
That's not what I said.
Jesus.
I said we had arguably one of the best midfields in the world as well, with Fabinho and Jordan Henderson.
It's the only part of your team that didn't work in your midfield.
What do you mean? You're only talking in recent times. Don't talk absolute nonsense. Go back and look at when we won the league and when we won the Champions League. Don't even
the best goalkeeper, the best centre back, and the front three were like out of this world.
We're the best team on the planet at that stage in Fabinho as well. You're talking nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
It's a bit of a stretch.
It is not a stretch. Go back and look.
It's a bit of a stretch.
Look, he was an absolute destroyer Go back and look. We had the
He
best.
was
We had
good.
the best.
He was
No,
very
I
good.
can tell you now.
He
I'm
wasn't the
telling
best
you now,
defensive midfielder on the
he was
planet.
the best DM on the planet at
I'm
that
not
stage
having
when
that.
he was in this pump. Well,
Not having that.
you're not having it. But listen,
I'm not having that.
your crowd talk up Amrabat. So where do we go with that?
I'm
You know
not
what I mean?
having that.
Right.
Come on
Anyway,
now, I'm
Forest
not having
Tottenham.
that.
You're going with Tottenham on that. What score are you going for on it?
I'm going with Tottenham, and will I give you a little? Will I open the door into me bets later?
Well, no. Keep your bets. Keep the bets.
Oh, yeah, but let me open the door slightly, because I have a reoccurring theme this weekend. Yeah?
Okay.
The reoccurring theme is people going back to places, right? So
Okay.
one of my goal scorers will be one Brennan Johnson. Yeah? I'll give you that one for now. Spurs 3-1.
Yeah, you actually, when we were talking on WhatsApp last week, you had mentioned, didn't you, that you had a concern about Stevie Cooper, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, so interesting answers there as well. Spot on.
Yeah.
Liverpool struggles big time when teams play low block football. They certainly do. But like a lot of teams struggle when teams play low block football.
On the plus side, you're playing United at the weekend and we don't have a low block, so you're good. Don't worry.
That was always more.
I absolutely agree with you, Barry.
Anderson best season, 2013-14 season. Stop. I should start watching football, will you? Spurs 2-0 from Daz.
Is that 3-1? Is that two more people agreeing with me that he was always shy? 3-1. All right.
Yeah,
but
I noticed that the three that are agreeing with you, like, I mean, it's the United fans. So what would you know about midfield? Let's get real here. You know what I mean? In the last decade.
Football only started in the last decade, did it? All right, okay.
No, it started in 92, didn't it?
Hendo was our engine in the midfield, but he was never a world-class player. Thanks, Keith. I appreciate that wholeheartedly, pal.
You're an engine in the midfield, but you're not a world-class player. Okay.
An engine.
Also, Niall and Dazza, do you know the Premier League game week predictions I did and stopped them? I didn't. Bonkers. No. We've been mere a couple of games, but got the results. Absolutely. In recent times, 100%. Bournemouth versus Luton.
You know, you don't even need to ask me this. After what Bournemouth did to us last weekend.
Yeah.
Listen, gotta say though, Luton have been very, very good the last few weeks. You know, we spoke about Luton a few weeks ago and we talked about maybe how the low points total might come into things, you know. And they had a few big games to come. They're obviously playing United and Liverpool and City. And like, just look at what they went and did. You know, we nicked them off 1-0, right? You boys got a 1-1 draw, and City nicked them off 2-1. But like, they've been in every game. They're absolute workhorses. Their work rate's phenomenal. And they're not going to stay in the league, unfortunately, but they're putting a really, really good foot forward, and they're putting a really good. They're really doing their fans proud, you know. Gotta say, big up Luton for some of the performances. But you're still going down. Sorry about that.
Klopp should have been watching Onana during the warm-up instead of standing in the centre circle. So Bournemouth, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Bournemouth are in really good form at the moment, aren't they?
Really good form. Really good. And you know what? Getting results is one thing, but Bournemouth are playing a really nice brand of football. I backed Bournemouth a couple of weeks ago. I think you remember. They were away from home at Crystal Palace and he beat them 2-0. And I backed them that day and I watched them because I had backed them. And like, some of the one-touch football and some of the movement there at Bournemouth is really good. Really, really good. They cough up a couple of chances more than they need to. So I think Luton will get on the score sheet, but I think Bournemouth will win the game. So I'm going to go 2-1 Bournemouth. Yeah,
I think since they're very impressive when Billing came in as well, I really rate him. I think he's an exceptional player.
Really rate Billing, I have to be honest with you. I think he's a great footballer, the kid.
Yeah. He has a great engine as well. I think he's very strong, box to box as well. And I think he has a great eye for goal as well. His return is pretty decent, you know. Joanna's going for a 2-2. I don't know. I'm not too sure about that. Luton, like they've definitely been improving.
They're
But
plucky.
you know what it is? They've just been unlucky in not getting over the line, and I think that kind of shatters their confidence a bit. The Arsenal one was a tough one for them as well, and all, you know. So
we're going for Menamoon this week.
Oh, very nice.
Menamoon.
Seen it earlier, actually. Chelsea, Sheffield United.
Sheffield United getting a good week, getting a win last weekend. First win with Wilder back at the head of the table, shall we say? Listen, Chelsea's a difficult place to go with the way things are going, because there's an awful lot of scrutiny on them. And I think at home, Chelsea will have enough to beat Sheffield United. But again, I don't think it's going to be an easy day at the office. I think Sheffield United will make them work for it. I think they look better under Wilder already. They look a bit more attacking. And I think they'll need goals if they're going to try and stay in this league. And that's what he's trying to do.
You're asking for the prime for Xmas.
100%, Jack.
Bonkers is going for a 2-2 draw. Interesting.
No, I think Chelsea will just manage to hold them off 2-1. Yeah, I think so.
Man City, Crystal Palace.
Yeah, watched Man City last weekend. Gotta say, was not impressed whatsoever. The only thing that really impressed me was, the guy that impresses me every time I watch him, Rodri. I thought Rodri he didn't get man of the match. They gave man of the match. I watched the whole game, right? And they gave man of the match to the Foden scored the first. They gave it a Foden, right? And your man was like, "Oh, I'm going to give it a Foden because he got the first goal." And I was like, he wasn't great. Like, what are you giving him man of the match for? Because he scored a goal. Like, Rodri was middle of the pitch and back in charge, and anything good came through Rodri. Just such a good player. I think they'll need to be a little bit better this weekend, City, because if they're as bad as they were last weekend, I think Palace are starting to turn the performances slightly around. You know what I mean? They're on a bad run of form, Palace, and it's gonna take like a win when you don't expect it to kind of get them back on the road and stuff. I don't think they'll get it at City, but again, I think they'll keep things tight, and I think City probably missing hard on the game, which means goals will be a premium for them. I think I'll go City. I'll go City 2-1.
Yeah, no, Jack, I didn't see the comments after the game. I jumped onto Jack's channel for a match reaction, so I didn't see that. And Bonkers is going for City 3-1. Daz is going, what did he say? Joanna's going for a 3-1 to Chelsea against Sheffield United. Daz is Haaland back. I'm not too sure. We'll know more tomorrow, obviously.
Not sure.
What did he say? It'd be interesting to see what he said. Daz shows the Christmas tree.
We'll put a picture in the comment, Jack. We've two of them. I've won the front room, won the back room because I live in a monster gaff. But I'll put pictures in the comments. Niall will, won't you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm technically not very good, let's say.
Yeah, we'll probably do for next week's show. What we'll do is we'll do a few Christmas slides, maybe. We'll show some decorations and we'll have a fun show. With Newcastle out of Europe now is massive concern for United now. Suppose you could say the same about both, couldn't you?
I was going to say, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And the fact that Villa are still in it is obviously a bit of a delight for me. That they're going to get dragged somewhere horrible on a Thursday night, and then.
What did you make of the conversation today? That a lot of now, I mean, obviously, Manchester United is a much bigger club than Newcastle. But what did you make of the conversation today that you have Erik ten Hag there, who last season got into the Champions League, won a Carabao Cup. United currently are above Newcastle in the league. And then you've got Eddie Howe, who didn't win anything last season, got into the Champions League, got binned out of the Champions League, didn't win a cup, and is below United in the league. Yet a lot of the media focus is on Erik ten Hag and his future. Now, obviously, United draws much more.
And that's you've hit it in a nutshell, There's a flag, or there's a banner that flies in Old Trafford around the inside of the stadium, and it says hated, adored, but never ignored. And that's us in a nutshell, basically. We're the team people love to hate. If you asked of the 20 Premier League clubs in the league, if you asked them what team do they hate most, like the team you'd hear more than anyone is Man United. And that's
Interesting.
not the case because we necessarily do things wrong, or that's just because we're the threat, we're the danger. And even when teams are flying, and even when teams are points clear, they'll always just go and look over the shoulder and go, "Where the fuck are United? Do you know what I mean?"
Well, as I said at the top of the hour, it's still my biggest game on the calendar is the two United games.
Absolutely.
Well, I suppose it depends where you are in the league at the time and all. And if you're into your last 4 or 5 games and you're in around the title, you might have a different concept to it. But in terms of overall, if you're looking at the season, when the fixture list comes out, we always
They're
look.
the two we look for.
Where the two
Absolutely.
fixtures that we look for still. Jack is in, Niall is technically gifted, and Dazzler is a midfield maestro.
There you go.
Not a bad statement at all, Jack, but we're both kind of came from kind of goalkeeping backgrounds, to be honest. I certainly was never built to be running around in the midfield, box to box, that's for sure. Tranmere is 10 points off the playoffs, hopefully Wembley this year. That's a big gap. It's a big gap. Where are we? Newcastle versus Fulham.
Yeah. This is going to be a tricky one for Newcastle. And the only reason I say it's going to be tricky, they just looked out on their feet last night, didn't they? Looked out on their feet. Still a huge amount of injuries there at the club. The squad is getting thinner and thinner in spots. And Fulham are on the back of 2 5-0 victories. They're going to be plucky. They're going to be full of energy. They're going to be full of confidence. The boy Raul Jimenez scoring goals again. It's going to be a tough game, I'd imagine. I really, really think it'll be tough. I don't necessarily think. I don't think Fulham will. I think it's such a hard place to go. I don't think Fulham will get the win, but I do think they'll make it really difficult, and I think they might get a draw over. And I'm actually going to go 2-2.
Bonkers going 3-2 Fulham. That'd be a huge result.
That'd be huge. Listen, I think they've done two great wins on the bounce, with beating West Ham and Forest 5-0 and 5-0, really, really tops. But I just going to St. James's Park is a different kettle of fish altogether, isn't it?
Absolutely. Icers, want your thoughts on the Usos belt?
Didn't see it. There's a new belt.
Yeah, they've a new Usos one out now, a tag one, yeah. Daz is going for 3-1.
Just as I get out of the game, Niall. It's typical, isn't it?
Might get back in. Jack, it's not that big of a gap with our next 4 games, and we will be 7th. And the League 2 is hard this season. The championship down is really, really tough.
I'll say it again. I've said it once, and I've said it a number of times. The most difficult league in Europe to win is the championship.
There you go.
46 games twice a week in shitty conditions, shitty pitches, shitty facilities. Championship is at some serious footballers, by the way. Championship for me, toughest league in Europe. Very underrated.
Burnley versus Everton, the Sean Dyche derby for Acers.
The old Sean Dyche derby. So we did speak about people going back places, didn't we? Where do you think I'm going here, so? I'm going Everton here. This is Sean Dyche going back to Burnley to put manners on them.
Yeah.
Because don't forget, Burnley were too good for Sean Dyche, weren't they? Wanted to go and rebrand themselves and remodel themselves as a football playing team.
Who was there beforehand as well? Tarkovsky?
Yeah.
Burnley, wasn't he, Tarkovsky?
Yeah, he sure was, yeah. And the boy Dwight McNeil.
That's right, yeah. So this is a very interesting game.
A very interesting game. This is Everton for me. I'm gonna go Everton here. I'm gonna go Everton 2-1.
Interesting. We'll come back to Keith's point there in a second.
Joanna's
going 3-2. I'll bring it back up for you now in a second. Joanna's going 3-2 Newcastle Fulham.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a good game, Joanna. I think it's going to be a tough one, though.
Yeah, Keith's question, do you think if Newcastle don't get top 4 this season, could that be curtains for Eddie? Or do you think he will get more season?
No, I'd imagine if they didn't get top 4, it'd be curtains. I think if they didn't get top 4, visually they'd imagine this is as far as he can take us. You know, I think that's the way the optics would look. Even though they may not be taking into account the fact how blighted the injuries has been. You know, and I got to be honest, like, it's Antonelli. You know, you go and spend all that money on a guy, and then you find out what's been going on in the background, and you've been done up like a kipper, basically. And then to have the injuries through the season, and then to have your first year back in Champions League, where we know it stretches the squad because of the quality of the games midweek, meaning the weekends then as a stretch and stuff like that. I think it would be mental to do something like that. But I do think, you know, the Newcastle board might see it as a step backwards, and I don't think they'd be willing to do that at the moment, you know.
Would they hold fire if they got Europa? If they had some sort of European football?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so? You think they'd trigger it?
I think they trigger it because I think they see themselves as a club who want to sit at that table. You know?
Pacers in. Liverpool will destroy United, West Ham, Arsenal next 6 days. Man, I'll take that all day. I'll take that all day long. That would leave me lovely into Christmas.
Well, I mean, let's be honest, right? You're probably going to beat United with a great deal of ease. Yeah? West Ham will be plucky, but you'll get over the line.
Yeah, they've been struggling, West Ham, haven't they?
So your only real game is Arsenal. You know, and I'm gonna say something here. I was trying to. Rosanna started to watch a little more football these days, you know. I think I mentioned this to you, didn't I?
You did, yeah.
And she's starting to look at a few little bits, and she's starting to ask questions and say, "Oh, what's this and what's this and blah blah," you know. And it's funny because we watched the Arsenal Luton game. Remember, Arsenal got the late winner to Declan Rice header and stuff like that. And I said, like, Arsenal, like, I said, that result is going to put them top of the table. I said, but in my mind, they're still shit. Like, I don't look at, and this is a really weird thing to say. I don't, sorry, I've gotten into ear. And I know, I hope Morris might be in the chat there. He might not be, I don't know. I don't look at Arsenal with the same eyes as I do Liverpool or Man City, regardless of whether they're above them or not. Like, I don't, when we play Liverpool, right, and when we play City, I always think we're in trouble here. We could be onto an absolute hiding with City and Liverpool, yeah? I always look at us against Arsenal and think, no matter how shit we are, we can beat this. There's just something about Arsenal that doesn't strike fear into me heart. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, like, I mean, if you look, and it's, you know something, it's the case for a lot of teams this year where some of the teams out there, like ourselves, Arsenal and City, are kind of putting points on the board at the top end of the table, but the performances don't match the points, if you like. And we've been the same as well. We've had to come back from behind on so many games as well, where we've got out of town with a bit of luck or a bit of endeavour, gotten over the line, got the 3 points, but haven't looked anything great at all, haven't really performed. And you see a lot of that this season as well with Arsenal and with City.
Yeah, but I don't. It's not that. That's not my problem. And it's weird. I don't know why. Like, City, I always fear if they show up today, they could beat us by 5. Right? I always at the back of my head have that. When we play Liverpool, I always think if they show up today, they could beat us by 5. I never ever worry that Arsenal are going to dish out to us. You know what I mean? I get the feeling with Arsenal. Like Liverpool and City, they look at United and they look at United on a level, right? You know, obviously for me, United and Liverpool are the 2 biggest clubs in English football.
Yeah.
City have been able to elevate themselves there, right? I still feel like when Arsenal come to United or when United go to the Emirates, Arsenal are still kind of thinking, we're the underdogs here, regardless of league position, which is mental.
Is that just due to history? You think? Is it just
I
history
don't
makes you feel
know.
like, or is it the fact that if City thump you or we thump you, it's a deeper wound, it's a deeper kind of sore?
No, I don't. Well, no, I don't think so. Because like,
I'm just
I
wondering where
just
I'm trying to
don't
get to
like.
it, like, you know?
I don't fear Arsenal.
Yeah.
Like, am I fearful ahead of Sunday? Absolutely. Like
Mm,
last night, sorry, not last night, Tuesday night, was I fearful Bayern were going to absolutely do a number on us? 100%. If we'd been playing Arsenal on Tuesday, would I have had that kind of fear in me? No, I'd have actually gone in thinking, we'll beat this. We'll beat this. I'm always super, uber confident against Arsenal. They just don't scare me the way a Liverpool or a City do.
mm.
You know, and it's, I don't know why. I really don't, and I said to her,
No, could be
like,
the banter's at a different level or something like
no,
that, is
it's
it? Or
nothing to do with
it's a
that.
weird
It's
one.
nothing to
Yeah.
do with that. Like, I don't know, because I even said to her, I was like, yeah, like we're shit, like, but we could still be Arsenal.
Mm.
Whereas, like,
I kind of always
we're
feel
shit,
when
but we
I,
never
yeah,
beat you or City.
I
Like
always
that's
I always feel when I'm playing Arsenal, I always feel that Arsenal will always offer us up something in the game. And maybe that's how I feel about it. So it's like I don't. It's not that I don't fear Arsenal or anything like that. I have a lot of
but you.
respect for Arsenal,
I have
but I
respect for
always feel
Arsenal.
I always feel there's something in it for us.
Okay, well,
Whereas
look at it.
I can go to the Etihad, and when I go to the Etihad, I always think it's going to be a tough day at the office. This could either be 3 or 4 nil, or it could be a dull 1-1, or you know
But you
we have to
don't
get out of
feel
there
like
with
that going
something.
to the Emirates, right?
No, going to the Emirates,
No,
my expectation is to always get something, and always,
right,
and even
and
always,
that's
yeah,
even if there's 10
yeah,
or 12 points between us in the league,
mm,
you still feel like that.
yeah. And so we were the experts of that. You look down
Whereas,
through the years how far we were off it, and we still have
right,
great games against Arsenal. You know what I mean?
and in the same way, like you could be ahead of City, you could be behind City. You'd always fear the hiding.
Mm.
You could be ahead of Arsenal, behind of Arsenal. You don't fear them that way. You just
So what
don't.
you're saying, if you were going to the Emirates this weekend, you'd feel totally different. You
Totally different. If
interesting, yeah.
I'm going the Emirates this weekend, I think we can get something. As shit as
Mm,
we are,
mm,
I think we can get something. But I know we're on to, a rim job against you boys. I know
yeah,
that.
interesting,
It's mad, isn't it?
interesting.
I
Yeah,
was trying to
absolutely. It's
explain
an
this to
interesting dynamic.
I was trying to
Yeah.
explain this to Rosanna the other night. Like I was just like,
Mm,
I hold no Arsenal hold no fear for me. Like just
mm,
none. They don't scare me the way City or Liverpool do. And like even over the years when we were going head to head with Arsenal for titles, I never felt that way. I never felt like we were, how many times in the last 25 years, right? No, let's say 30. Let's say 30. How many times in the last 30 years have you seen Arsenal give us an absolute hiding? A hiding, and I mean a hiding.
yeah. May
Can you
I
think of
suppose
any?
trying to recall it, maybe once, twice, maybe,
Can you remember once or
maybe.
twice?
Yeah, no, no. I'm thinking of the one. Wasn't there one? Yeah, I
Okay, so
suppose you. Yeah,
just park that for a second.
yeah,
Okay, now tell me how many times in the last 30 years you can remember Liverpool giving us a hiding.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely, yeah,
How many times in the last 30 years can you remember City giving us a hiding?
yeah. Mm. Yeah,
Arsenal
no,
hold no
it's
fear
interesting.
for me for whatever reason.
Mm,
I don't know
mm.
why. I don't look at Arsenal, and I mean this in the nicest possible way, because like I'm
Mm.
an Arteta fan. I love the
Saka,
stadium. I
Rice,
like Saka. I like Rice.
Trossard. Mm.
Arsenal aren't a big club for me.
Better
Arsenal
get better
aren't.
get better get down through this chat quick.
No, Arsenal
Joanne went
aren't
in with a 2-2
like
for.
Arsenal don't. Arsenal aren't a big club. Like if that. And listen, I'm not saying Arsenal aren't a big club, but
Well,
Arsenal aren't.
they're the third biggest club in the league, aren't they?
Who, Arsenal?
Yeah.
Are they? Fuck.
Well, I think in terms of when you
Okay, so
down
the two biggest clubs in the league are us and you, followed by City now.
So you think
right?
City now and then Arsenal, is it?
I'd go a stretch and I'd say Chelsea before Arsenal as well.
I suppose over the last 20 years, trophy wise and stuff like that. No, yeah, interesting. I suppose it depends what way we measure it and stuff like that. No,
Absolutely,
yeah,
and there's no barometer for measurements like that. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
So I don't even know where this is coming from in my head, but I do not ever go to the Emirates or Arsenal don't ever come to Old Trafford and I think, shit, we're in trouble today. Right? Whereas
do you feel like it's a big game in the calendar because of your history in the Premier League?
Not really. I always look at it as an opportunity.
Okay.
I always
so when
think,
so when the fixtures come out, obviously you're looking at us. We look at you.
Yeah.
Obviously, we all look at City, of course,
Yeah.
because of the nature of it at the moment and stuff like that. I would still look at our games against Arsenal, Chelsea, Newcastle, and probably Villa. I still look at those games as well. Now, not in the same vein as the United game.
No, absolutely not. And like, listen, if I'm only making it to 2 football matches in the season, I'm getting to the Liverpool game and the derby. That's the ones I'm getting to. You know, that's what I'm getting to. But like, Arsenal wouldn't be top of my list.
Mm.
And like, I should in my head have an affiliation for Arsenal because my dad was an Arsenal fan. You know,
and your Premier League history with them as well.
But they don't. They're not.
But you know the way you have so many Premier League moments with them and games.
Absolutely, in the tunnel and all of that stuff, and
everything.
Keane and Vieira. And I just never
even
look
Fergie
at them.
and Wenger and all, and how they changed football.
And by the way, and just something on Arsene Wenger. And again, I don't know why I was thinking about this. I was thinking about this probably last week or during the week or whatever. He's the only Premier League manager, right? I would say in the last 30 years, he's one of the only who I really think missed a trick there at United, you know? Like, massive Arsene Wenger fan. Yeah. Massive Arsene Wenger fan. And actually, I've way more, you know when I talk about, and I know I do this quite a lot, and I know it probably annoys you, and I said it to you previously about Liverpool. Like, for me, the best thing that could happen to me as a United fan is Klopp could leave Liverpool. Because, and I said this to you before, you've got some good players, you've got some decent players, but the standout at your club right now is Jurgen Klopp, for me. Right?
Yeah, you've often said he's the superstar.
Right. He's the superstar, 100%. In the way Fergie was the superstar at United. Yes, we had great players, but if you look at it, when Fergie left the building, what happened? Well, the house of cards fell apart. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So for me, as a United fan, that's my hope with Klopp, that someday he's going to go, I'll leave. Or Guardiola. Same kind of thing with City. I don't think City walk away with titles the way they do without Guardiola. You know, Arsene Wenger put Arsenal on the map for me and made them into it. And in the same sort of way when he left, they just plummeted. They just dropped like a fucking stone, you know. Because again, Arsene Wenger for me was he was the star at Arsenal. Yes, they'd good footballers. They'd Henrys and Bergkamps and Vieiras. They'd great footballers. But we knew when you let the air out of the balloon's going fucking flat, right? And that's what happened. It's what happened at United. It's what happened at Arsenal. And as a United fan, I can only hope it's what happens at Liverpool and City when the two figureheads of those clubs step out.
It's a kind of a sad indictment on clubs when that happens as well, isn't it? That their contingency preparation doesn't follow on. And you've said it before, where a lot of clubs you know, they play in relation to the manager.
Yes.
They buy players for the manager,
So
and
you're
not
gonna,
for the system, and not for the DNA, and not for the club.
You're
And we
taking the words out of my mouth, because you know the club I always mention when we talk about this, right?
Yeah.
Who was it?
Your own.
No. The club that doesn't do it. The club that sticks to principles. The club that moves, that buys players to play styles.
Oh, Brighton.
Right? Bayern.
Oh, Bayern. Yeah, of course.
This is why
yeah,
Bayern have always been successful, because
Yeah.
Bayern have a way of doing things, and
Mm.
Bayern have a DNA, and Bayern have this, and Bayern have that. Whereas they're not reactionary. It's not, we're going to buy this player to suit this manager, because it's not short term. Everything is longer term. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's, you have to have that foresight. Yes, we might struggle now, but you know, in 9 months, in a year, we won't. But we're not going to try and quick fix it, which is what too many of, like, look at what Chelsea have done in the market.
Mm.
Look at what United have done in the market. That's quick
Mm.
fix. That's why it's not working. It's quick fix. You know?
Absolutely, yeah. Arsenal, Brighton.
Arsenal. Because I think Brighton have really struggled after the Thursday night games. We talk about the squad and stuff like that, and you know, the squad depths, but I think Arsenal will do enough here to get over the line.
I really like the sound of that. Chris Coleman just became the new favourite to be Ireland manager. I like Chris Coleman.
What's the sorry, Morris has had to be must have been listening to me over the last little while. I wonder how Morris feels about it.
It's coming up.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah. Joanna's in. Arsenal have strike fear into my heart for the last bloody 4 years. Sorry. Strike fear. Yeah. And Joanne's an Arsenal fan. Daz at Morris, big up. When's your next live? And Jack is in. Red Bettis 2, Rangers 3. Any Jers in the chat like me? I wouldn't have thought so.
Highly unlikely.
Highly unlikely. Morris in. United have beaten Arsenal twice in the last 10 games.
Okay. When was the last time you get us a hiding, Morris?
Yeah, Bonkers is in. We need to be ahead of City when we play them. Yeah, we do. Absolutely. You need that. Especially if we can open up a bit of a gap when they're gone off on the World Club Championship thing. United haven't won at Anfield since 2016. Rooney 1-0.
Yeah.
11 p.m. That is my podcast. Christmas party, few beers. Nice. I like that. Yeah, we'll be tuning into that one. Morris, any news on who the devil is in AEW? There was talk I was listening the other day that it might be Kyle O'Reilly, and this is that they're creating a stick here for their back.
Is this Tony doing what Tony does best? You know what I heard, and listen, you know what I heard, and it would, the reason the mask has been brought in,
go on,
is because the non-compete disclosure hasn't ended yet. Yeah, you know, the 90-day thing.
Yeah.
So the reason the mask keeps appearing is so you can't see Dolph Ziggler.
Okay,
and when the time is up, the 90 days up, it's gonna be Dolph. But if that's what it is, I'm a Dolph fan. But that's gonna be like somebody popping a fucking throwing a sausage up O'Connell Street. That's not gonna work.
Did you see the report out yesterday as well? I think from Cultaholic that they've lost 34 million this year.
AEW,
yeah. After such a great event in Wembley and all, the biggest ever ticket sales and gate attendance, they've lost apparently 34 million this year. How much money are they paying Jericho and MJF? And Kenny Omega?
He is an absolute joker.
Do you ever see Man City catching up to Liverpool and Man United 19 and 20 titles? It's up to Liverpool and Man United to stop them doing it, isn't it?
I would say at the minute, you know, they'll probably catch Liverpool and United before any other club who may have more than them. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What have Arsenal got? Have they got 10? I don't know. I would imagine City will overtake them in the next number of years.
Yeah, absolutely. Jack is in. Morris, if that Christmas party was tomorrow, I would watch it. Arsenal are shite, says Joanne. Jesus. at TV Productions Podcast. If that Christmas party was tomorrow, I would watch it, but I can't tonight. Sorry, mate. I'm not bother. Eno's in. Big up, Eno. What's the crack, lads? He was on the show last night with us, with myself and Kenny. Sorry I'm late. I was watching one of the matches.
I saw that for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, now
Kenny.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you dropped in. Yeah, that's right.
Did drop in. I've dropped in a couple of times recently, Niall, into your podcast.
Through Facebook.
Yeah, well, I'm getting notifications and it's telling me that the upper tier is live and all. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pop in here and just,
There you go. See, we're developing all the time. Jack's right about my technical ability.
That's it.
Morris, no hassle, mate. It's only going to be a few drinks. Morris, don't be talking like that. It's never only just a few drinks. At that is either MJF, Adam Cole, my prediction, Sammy Callahan. Definitely won't be Sammy Callahan. I wouldn't class Arsenal.
Did MJF not get beaten down with a devil mask? So it can't be him then, right?
Yeah, no, MJF is the guy. He kind of got taken out by him, didn't he? And
so it's not him then. He didn't get taken out by himself then.
Look, they've gone crazy. At one stage, people were talking that it was Britt Baker, so who knows? Yeah,
that it was Britt Baker.
Yeah, it's mad. It's mad. Joanne's in. I wouldn't class Arsenal or Man United as big clubs now, as we both have shit managers.
Joanne, I'm just gonna help you out on that. We're Man United. We're huge. We're not a big club. We're a fucking huge club. We're a whale, Joanne. Just want to throw that out there.
I would go on a date with Arsene Wenger. What an interesting conversation it would be. Absolutely. George Graham is Arsenal's greatest manager, better than Arsene Wenger was.
Stop
that.
Don't be saying silly things now.
Stop now. Listen, we love George Graham.
You leave the jokes up to the two fat lads. It's much easier.
1-0 to Brighton, Jack reckons. They are now top of their group.
Oh, he's talking about tonight in the Europa.
Yeah, this is Rangers. Yeah.
No.
Brighton. Oh, Brighton. Sorry, Brighton. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, absolutely.
That's João Pedro. They're playing Marseille.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I understand what you're saying. It's not a big game anymore.
I don't even think that it's not a big game. But just as I said to you, it's a weird and like I don't mean to say it disrespectfully. I have to put that in there because like I do have a lot of respect for Arsenal. As I said to you, Arsene Wenger. Like I think the Emirates a great stadium. Like I like Mikel Arteta. I like what Arsenal are doing. They just don't hold any fear for me. Like just none. I don't know why.
You actually like a lot of things at the moment about Arsenal that Arsenal fans don't like.
Right, and I've said this for yeah. Like I've said that. You know, I just don't ever go into a game where Arsenal holding the arse cheeks closed, going, please don't. I just never feel like that.
Yeah, no, it's interesting.
It's
definitely an interesting conversation. Morris Dolph is booked for Puerto Rico in January. Keats in, he reckons the devil is Vince. I'm calling it. Can you imagine? Imagine the Scooby-Doo head coming off. Good Lord. Man United have no chance getting De Zerbi as their next manager. Wouldn't say that. Wouldn't go that far.
Sorry, my earphones just died.
Yeah, no has. You can still hear me though, can you? Yeah, all good.
I can hear you perfectly.
Perfect. Yeah, no, you're not too bad there. It's all good. If De Zerbi was to leave to join another club, he would wait till the summer and join Real Madrid.
Real Madrid won't want De Zerbi. You're mad.
Yeah. Any Mason Mount updates? Wouldn't have thought so. Brentford versus Aston Villa.
Sorry, just to help our young compadre Jack out there. Xavi Alonso is going to be the next Real Madrid manager. Fact. Put your house on it. Put your house on it. It won't be. Sorry, I'm just looking at the volume here. Someone put this in the wrong way. Sorry.
Joanne, the trouble is with Arsenal and Man United, they live in the past.
Yeah, Xavi Alonso will be the next Real Madrid manager for what he's doing at Leverkusen at the minute.
Yeah, absolutely.
And being an ex-Real player, obviously, you know.
George Graham is the only ever manager to win title at Anfield by 2 clear goals. Arsene Wenger could never, ever do that, ever. That's just a moment in time, my friend.
That's all. It just so happened that they were playing at Liverpool in that game. And, you know, that's all it was.
It's historic, but
Arsene Wenger was special.
Yeah, it's historic, but it wouldn't push me over the line, that's for sure. So what did you say, Brentford versus Aston Villa?
Aston Villa. Another one of our going back somewheres. Ollie Watkins going back to Brentford. Ollie will be on the score sheet this weekend as well.
Yeah, I think so. I will fully agree with you on that one. Dare I say, West Ham versus Wolves.
Yeah, I'll be interested to watch this one because I've got a West Ham player and a Wolves player in my I might get me AirPods here, right? I've got a West Ham player and a Wolves player in my fancy footballs. Got the boy Kudos and I've got Chan. So I'll enjoy watching that. Hopefully there's a few goals. I think West Ham are really, really leaky at the minute. But I don't know if Wolves have it in them to score 2 or 3. That's the problem. So I'm gonna go a 1-1 draw in the West Ham Wolves game.
Okay. Jack is in. Mark my words, the Europa League final at Dublin will be Liverpool versus Brighton. Wouldn't be too upset about that. That'd be a great final. Brighton have absolutely names right now. And then let's get on to the main event then. I suppose we have to talk about the Super Sunday. As always, Liverpool versus Man United. Well, we kind of do have to talk about it. There's a lot to unpack, really, isn't there?
There's a lot to unpack. Now, would you just help me out with what we've to unpack, like?
Well, I suppose we've
got 8-inch dildo that's up me jacksy at the minute. There's not much I need to take out, like, because we are going to be absolute fish filled in this game now.
Do you think so? You really think so?
Oh, Jesus Christ. We've 13 players out. Have you seen the list?
Yeah, I heard yeah, something like a third of the squad or something they were saying. Yeah, a third of the squad.
13 players unavailable. Even your buddy Bruno suspended.
I personally think that's a plus for you. I think that's a positive.
Not at all.
I 100% think that's a positive.
No.
I think he's more of a disruptive force when he's on the pitch than he is anything that he adds.
Listen, he's the only player we have with a bit of quality that can open a game up for us with a pass and stuff like that. He's one of the top chance creators in the Premier League in a team who can score goals. So it's not like he's not creating chances. He's box-to-box energy for us has been off the chain, and he's really stood up since he's been given the Iron Man for me. I think, along with Maguire, he's been one of the shining lights at United this season.
Jeez, I'm thinking since he got the captain's armband, there's been a massive drop-off.
He's been phenomenal. But don't just look at goals and stats. Look at games. Watch him play. He's playing a different role because he has to do more and more and more. His work rate for the team is off the charts.
I don't think he wants him doing more and more. I think he takes on more and more himself, and I think he creates an imbalance in the side. I think you will see on Sunday, and I'm calling this now.
Why would you think Ten Hag doesn't want him to be the presser?
Why he doesn't want him to be the presser?
Yeah, because he is. He's the first one to press every time, and he's actually the guy who calls the next lad in to press.
Because the problem with him coming from deep like that to do the press is he's leaving you wide open for the counter.
But he plays as our 10. He's not a central midfielder.
Yeah, but he doesn't play. He's not a 10. He doesn't play. He's not a 10.
What do you mean he's not a 10?
Well, he's not a 10. I don't think he's a 10.
Absolutely a fucking 10.
Well, he's not a 10 because he crops up all over the pitch. He's all over the pitch at times.
So what
how many times do you see him?
What's a 10?
How often in 90 minutes do you... Is it though?
That's of course it is. I think there's one player in the league created more chances than him. Plus he's box to box. He's a 10. He's probably the best 10 in the league. Like, he's miles away from being a central midfielder.
I think personally, I think you will see this weekend with him missing. You will see a much more structured Man United at Anfield this Sunday compared to when he plays. When you have McTominay bombing forward thinking he's a striker, and you have Bruno all over the pitch, missing at times out of his position, you might think it's a free roll. It's not a free roll. If you look at how compact you were the other night against Bayern,
he's the presser.
Yeah, but look at how compact you were the other night against Bayern Munich. And if you go back and watch that match for that first half, a lot of that was the fact that he held his position so good at times and didn't.
He set fucking 20 yards from him. He was the fucking presser.
the match that he played the other night against Bayern Munich, he did less wandering around than in any other game he's played in.
God, Niall, I sat 15 fucking yards from the bloke. He pressed every single ball. He was the highest player up the pitch for about fucking 95% of the game for United. And he called the lads for the press. I watched it. I was sitting in the bastard stadium. So a lot of the stuff you don't see on the camera, I seen.
Yeah, well, we'll see on Sunday. We'll see on Sunday. I lay odds on Sunday. You'll see a much more compact, structured Man United than when he's there.
But structure's only good if you're going to get something out of it. Like, we're not going to score goals with structure.
No, but you're also not going to get an obliterated beatdown. Like you might not get something out of the game on Sunday, but you don't necessarily want it to be 7-8-9-0.
But sure, it could be 7-8-9-0 anyway.
But it could
and
be.
have no creativity and have no one to press.
It could be, but I don't think a lot of people at the moment are talking about this game and they're talking about how Liverpool are going to go out on Sunday and do this, that, and the other to Man United. And this time around, I don't actually see it happening. I think United are going to be much more compact on Sunday, and I think it's going to be a much more tighter game than what Liverpool fans are thinking. That's my own view on it. That's my own prediction for the game. And I think a lot of that.
That's just what we talked about. That's the fear that United bring to you as a Liverpool fan. As you said, over the last 30 years, the misery they've put you through, right?
Well, it wouldn't be a fear. It wouldn't be a fear more so than a respect.
No, listen, I understand you respect United, but you're fearful that we could always show up on any given day against you. And that would be my point about Liverpool and about City. And I'm not fearful like that about Arsenal at all. But I am with Liverpool, and that's where your fear is coming from. But listen, if we're looking at this game on Sunday, you lads are going to absolutely rear end us. I'll have Liverpool -3 in the handicap all day long and fucking twice this Sunday.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how it comes out. Dave's in a learning curve tonight for the young guns. We go again, Reds. Absolutely. It was a free hit tonight just to give those guys an opportunity to have a feel for a bit of European football and stuff like that. I wouldn't be too worried about it at all. Liverpool to win and over 3.5 goals. Bonkers is going Liverpool 3-1. Jurgen plus Jurgen should buy Joe Pedro. So we should buy players before other teams buy them, so we're not getting rinsed. Dave is going for a 2-0 to Liverpool. Yeah, Dave, I'm thinking like that as well. I don't think it's going to be monstrous or anything like that. Daz is going for a 6-0 to the Reds. Jack is going for a 9-0. Good Lord. Onana going to have diarrhea every time Liverpool shoot a goal. I was looking at a preview this evening for that game, actually, and a lot of people are calling, like you were before, Darren, for the Turkish goalkeeper to play.
I was just in awe watching this kid in the warm-up on Tuesday night. And I'm looking at him, and all I can think of is, if he's this good in the warm-up, why have we not seen him play one single solitary minute of a game? That's baffling to me. Like, absolutely baffling.
What you put it down to? Just the manager being stubborn, or just this is his signing, so he has to stick with him?
No. Well, I think they're one and the same for me. You know, he's kind of backing the lad he brought in, and he's using him because he wants to play a certain brand of football, and he knows the distribution is there from Onana. I didn't see the kid kick the ball, as in, you know, how he was distributing the ball. I don't imagine he's awful at it, but what I did see was how he comes and how he handles crosses, how he stops shots, how he covers the goal, how he does in one-on-one situations. The kid is fucking outstanding. And to see him twice in the warm-up and both times look at him and go, it's the best fucking player we have on the pitch here, and he hasn't seen daylight. That's worrying, like. That's really worrying.
Daz wants your thoughts on Michael Oliver as the ref.
They're all shit. Makes no odds.
Doesn't matter. We've said it before.
They're
I don't even look at them.
Shit.
Don't look at them anymore. What's your prediction for this one? What are you going with? Give us a score.
$4-0 Liverpool.
Aces, looking forward to watching Champions League Europa League draws on Monday. Yeah, absolutely. The draws should be really good. Really looking forward to them. You're going 4-0 Liverpool, are you? I'm going to go think I'm going to go 3-1. I have a feeling about 3, and that's not out of fear. That's just out of respect. I just don't think. I think when games are set up like this for something like this to happen, based on what we seen last year and based on going into the game, players that you're missing, players that we're missing, all that kind of thing. I just don't think it's lending itself to a game like that. I'd be very surprised. It'd have to be an absolute capitulation by United. And I don't know.
What would make you believe that couldn't happen, looking at how we play?
Well, I'm not saying it can't happen, but I'm looking, and I know the Bayern Munich game isn't a great example of that and stuff like that. But if you look in not previous games, like not the Bournemouth game either, but you have to get a turnaround eventually, don't you? Something has to turn around eventually and kind of click a little bit and work, and that you have you kind of have, something that you can build from, something that you can use, something that you can produce.
Why?
Well, if that's the case, then if that's the case, then you're saying that the 15 or 16 players or whatever you bring to Anfield, you should just bin them all off. If that's the case, and that's not the case. I mean, if you've got Raphael Varane in there, Johnny Evans has come back in as well and stuff like that. And I know people have ideas on Johnny Evans, stuff like that. But in fairness, Johnny Evans for a number of matches this season, he's been decent. And then he went out and he got injured and stuff like that. Or if you have Maguire potentially back in there, if there isn't a groinal issue or something like that.
Maguire's not back.
He's not back. He's gone, is he? Okay. So then, and Luke Shaw, I presume, is gone as well. So that's obviously you know how I feel about Luke Shaw and stuff like that. I think he's very important to Man United. A lot of people don't think that way.
We're going in with Onana, Dalot, Evans, Varane, and Wan-Bissaka as our back five. And we're going in with Amrabat, Mainu, and McTominay in midfield. And we're going with Anthony, Garnacho, and Højlund.
Apparently the talk tonight when I was reading it was that Rashford will be going back in, but let's see. Don't know. It's hard to know. We won't know until the press is tomorrow who's available and all that kind of stuff and all. But look, on the face of it, Liverpool should win the game and stuff like that. But I think sometimes when games are set up like this, I think teams that go in as the underdogs and stuff like that sometimes who are going in for an obligatory beatdown, sometimes can find a way to gel themselves together, to find a way, to keep it low, not necessarily get something or get a draw or something like that, but, maybe a 2-0 or a 3-1 or something like that. That's just my thinking on it. I don't think, look, I could come on here with a can of 7-Up and go 7-0 and blah, 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 blah. Listen, I take a 2-0 right now. Give me a 2-0 right now and I'm on my merry way onto West Ham.
For you, you just want 3 points. You don't care what the score is.
Yeah, absolutely. Acers reckons, where are we saying? Easy. Back through some of these because I'm getting lost here. Looking forward. Oh, yeah, we did that one already. Joanna's going easy win for Liverpool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Rashford will start on Sunday over Anthony. It wouldn't be over Anthony, it'd be over Garnacho, wouldn't he? I don't think he'd fancy going out on the right, would he? After the last performance. Yeah, last time he went out there, though, he had his thumb in his mouth, didn't he? Wasn't too happy at all.
He has it no matter where he plays.
Yeah, McTominay will do a Bruno job. That could be interesting, actually, because when you push him that far forward, he has goals in him. Does Phil Jones get a shout for Sunday?
I'd say fucking Mrs. Jones might get a fucking shout for Saturday.
I'm going to hit the hay, lads. I'm totally wiped out after today. Doing a great job. Cheers, pal. Talk to you soon. So you're going 4-0. I'm going 3-1. I think Dave earlier said 2-0. Joanna's going for an easy Liverpool win. So we shall see what happens. Let's get into it. Will we do our bets for Beat the Bookie?
Yeah, let's.
Or you don't want to, I suppose before we do that, you want to give your thoughts on this. What's your thoughts on this today? Coming out. Sky Sports reporting on it as well. So
yeah.
How would you feel about it if it happened, I suppose, is the question.
Yeah, listen, I'm a Potter fan, you know that from his Brighton days. I don't think the environment at Chelsea was conducive for anybody. So I personally wouldn't hold an awful lot against Potter in his tenure at Chelsea. It It was a difficult time for the club being taken over. You know, Bowley coming in and buying the players. I don't hold a whole lot against Graham Potter for what happened to Chelsea. I would be interested to see how you know, a guy who we would call it, you know, a tactical sort of a manager, a coach, how he would deal with a lot of what's going on at United. You know, but I could see it. I could see, you know, Radcliffe coming in, Englishman, giving the job to Potter, another Englishman, and trying to get, like, you know, trying to get Radcliffe, Brailsford, and Potter as a sort of a core, and trying to go from there. And like, I wouldn't be adverse to that. Although right now I certainly don't want to see Ten Hag sacked. You know.
Yeah, you kind of. I suppose you kind of feel he needs a bit more time, doesn't he, to kind of sort things out a bit and try and figure out what needs to be done and stuff like that.
Our biggest problem at United right now is no matter who takes over the squad, it's a shit squad.
Mm.
The squad, for the amount of money we've put into it, is desperate.
Yeah, and you're carrying a mix of so many managers as well, aren't you, as well? Like what we spoke about with Chelsea in the past.
Yeah, there's got to be... I've spoken about this before, and how squads are made up and stuff like that. I think balance is hugely important and very undervalued at times. And for me personally, I feel like you've 11 positions on a pitch. Yeah. You should have 3 players for every position, right? 3 goalkeepers, 3 right backs, 3 left backs, you know, 6 centre backs. That's how things should go. One of your 3 players in each position should be somebody coming through the youth system. And one of your players in every position should be, you know, an experienced player with some credentials. And then the other player should be, you know, your player that maybe you're bringing in with a view to something going right, or you know, that kind of thing. And that's how you find a blend in your squad, and that's how you find a blend in your team and stuff like that. But at the minute, like, I just look at United and everything's just so lopsided. Like, we've won number 9 at the club. One.
Mm.
You know, Marcus Rashford is not number 9. Anthony Martial is not number 9. Alejandro Garnacho is not number 9. You know, whether you like them as footballers or not, we park that. They're just not 9s. We've won number 9. If Højlund is injured, who leads our line? Well, a guy who can't play 9 leads our line, because we got Martial or Rashford. You know, we don't have enough. We've got one, you know, number 10 for me, which is Bruno. And we don't have anyone else creative. If you look at the likes of City, who have a De Bruyne that can play at 10, who have a Foden that can play at 10, an Alvarez that can play at 10, a Grealish that can play at 10. You know, even at Liverpool, you could have a Gakpo drop into 10. You could maybe, as a Diaz, play more central. You could have McAllister drop into a 10. There's so many options.
Yeah,
we just don't see options. We don't have options. We don't have enough options. We don't have the right options. The squad needs, and this is the scary thing to say, after what we've spent, for our squad to need a massive overhaul is just mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. I spoke about this on the journey over with the lad that was with me. We've 4 fullbacks. Only one of them is fit for purpose. And that's who you mentioned, Luke Shaw. Now, if we look at, and you know, if we look at, for me, like, 3 of the best fullbacks in the league, right? I'm going to look at Reece James. I'm going to look at Kyle Walker. And I'm going to look at Kieran Trippier, right? Now, the closest we have to any of them is Luke Shaw. And the reason I speak about those 3 is I believe all 3 of those players have qualities at both ends of the pitch, offensively and defensively. Now, we've also spoke about how the fullback position has become one of the most important positions in the team. So if they're going to be two of your big players, and you need two on each side, you have four total. We only have one that works. The low can't go either way. Malacia can kind of go half one of the ways, and Wan-Bissaka is okay going one way and he's not going the other way. So the only fit for purpose fullback we have at our club is Luke Shaw. Mental. Fucking nuts. Like absolutely nuts. Centre backs. You know, if you we probably got 2 to 3 centre backs who aren't fit for purpose. Like if I look at it, Varane's made a paper. You know, Lindelof has proved on numerous occasions he's not the answer. Johnny Evans is 35. They can all go. That leaves Maguire, who's not at United's level, but he's the best of the bunch, and Martinez, again, who does a certain job, but in the Premier League is possibly going to get found out physically because of his height issues. You know? Like, the squad is so poor in so many areas. How many players, right, in the United squad get into the City squad week to week? How many? Okay, so let's run through our first choice starting 11. Does Onana get a spot? No.
No.
Does Wan-Bissaka? No.
No.
Does Maguire? No. Does Martinez? No. Does Luke Shaw? Yes.
Does Martinez get into your squad?
He gets into the City squad, but he doesn't get into the City 11.
No, but he'd get into the squad, I'd say.
Luke Shaw gets the left back slot because City don't have a left back for me. Right? So Luke Shaw, 1. Does Amrabat get a spot? No. Mainu? No. Hannibal? No. McTominay? No. Anthony? No. Hoyland? No. Hoyland will get into the squad as an out-and-out 9 because they'll create service for him. Does Rashford get into the squad? Yes. Does he get into the team? No. Sancho? No. Martial? No. Van de Beek? No. Malacia? No. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're looking at your benchmark there and you're so far off that benchmark.
So far. We have, you know, Garnacho possibly gets a spin in the City 11 and definitely gets into the team. Or sorry, into the squad, yeah? He's 19. He's going to be a super talented player, this kid. He really, really is. He's a shining light at Man United at the minute. And again, that's not necessarily for his goals or his assists, but Old Trafford comes alive when the kid gets the ball at his feet because he can make something happen. And he's trying to make something happen. And he's trying to run at guys and he's trying to go past guys and he's trying to create. And like our hopes and dreams shouldn't be put on the shoulders of a 19-year-old kid. Because we're doing him a disservice then as well, don't forget.
You're heaping it on him.
We're heaping it on him and we're creating pressure that kid doesn't need. He would have been slow played into this team boy for Alex Ferguson. Drip fed. Game here, sitting down for 2 or 3, 30 minutes. You'll play away at such and such. You'll come back, you'll do this. He's nearly the first name on the fucking team sheet every week.
Yeah, and I think when you're saying that some of the younger players will come in, the likes of Hannibal and stuff like that, when Ten Hag takes them out of the team, it never feels like it's by design. You know, it just feels like they're out, you know, that kind of way. It doesn't feel like, you know, they're coming in for a couple of games and then they're sitting down to, you know, it feels like they're out.
We look at a few weeks ago, we spoke about Hannibal and about how his work rate and his energy, nobody covered more ground in the United team the last 5 years. Was that right than Hannibal against Burnley that game? Remember we beat them 1-0?
Yeah.
Almost since that game, he's been exiled to the bench. So he started to show us what he had in his trousers, and your man told him to take a seat. How? I don't get it. I would 110%, this is me, I know Morris will disagree with me, I would be going in on Sunday with Amrabat as your anchor, and I'd be going in with Hannibal and Mainu bringing the energy as a midfield trio. I wouldn't have McTominay involved.
A lot of people have called for that as well, but can't see Ten Hag making that decision, can you?
No, because, apparently Scott scores goals, so he has to play in the team. But again, Scott scoring 1 goal ain't going to do anything for us if we're going to concede fucking 10. And that's the issue, because Scott gets bypassed. Scott's supposed to be our number 8. He's supposed to be our box-to-box. Amrabat's our 6. He sits in front and tries to screen. Bruno's our 10. Amrabat's our 8. Sorry, McTominay's our 8. Except your 8 has to be able to go both ways. He has to be able to defend and he has to be able to attack. McTominay can do one of those. He can't do both.
Yeah, absolutely. Keaton, question for you guys. Do you think Dominic is kind of similar to KDB? Can he turn into a world-class player as well? I think he can definitely turn into a world-class player. I think there's small little similarities there to KDB, but I think he operates a little bit more wider. I think KDB has a better vision of play in terms of from a more central kind of position.
I think it's harsh to try and mention him in a breath with KDB.
Yeah.
Because I do like the kid, Szoboszlai, by the way. Really, really like him. But I think he's very, very different. Like, if I was going into a game and I needed someone to go and fight and be dogged and be resilient and get the game by the scruff of the neck, I'd look for Szoboszlai. If I'm Man City and I'm playing, Sheffield United at home and I want somebody to pick up the ball and be silky and put balls into areas and create havoc, I'm picking KDB. So they don't necessarily sing from the same hymn sheet, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Agree with you on that. Right, give us your bets.
Give us my bets. Hold on, I'll get my phone.
No problem.
Oh, I'm a bit stiff. That's what she said. Oi. Okay, so I have bet number 1. You found a new spot for the yellow camera. See that? Yeah.
There you go.
I don't have to hold it. Okay, bet number 1 is my anytime goal scorer. And it pays 16-1.
Okay.
And I've 3 selections. I have Brennan Johnson going back to Notts Forest. I have Ollie Watkins going back to Brentford. And I have big Dominic Solanke because he made shite of us last Saturday.
Interesting.
16-1. That's 3 for you, Niall. There you are. That's bet number 1 of the weekend.
Do you want me to give you my goal scorer one before we move on? And we'll flip it.
Sound like it could be quite similar to mine.
Yeah, it's not far off. I went slightly different than you, but I went with 4, and it pays 55-1.
Well, I know you didn't go with Brennan Johnson.
No, I went.
So you probably have the other 2.
I went with Son.
You went with Son. Okay.
I went with Son from Spurs. I went with Billing from Bournemouth instead of Solanke because he seems back and he did brilliant against United when he came on. I went with Martinelli off Arsenal.
Okay.
And I went with Ollie Watkins off Aston Villa. Same as yourself. So
55-1
for the 4 of those.
Very nice.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too shabby as they say.
Here's my second bet.
Loves the on-camera angle for the wrestling figures.
Here's my second bet.
Okay.
And this is a strange one.
Okay.
So I've gone Spurs away from home. I've gone Everton away from home.
Okay.
I've gone Villa away from home.
Okay.
And I've gone Hannibal to be shown a card anytime at Anfield.
That's quite the mix. You're getting very inventive there. What's the odds on Hannibal?
And that'll pay you 20-1 as an accumulator.
It's not too bad.
Hannibal to be shown a card anytime is 7-5. Now, if Hannibal plays more than 30 minutes, that's free money, people. That is free money.
That's nearly doubling your money. Yeah, absolutely. 7-5.
That's over doubling your money. Doubling your money is evens.
Yeah, true. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
7-5.
I'll give you my accumulator then as well. Then, will I? My
Go on.
accumulator is 9-1. It's not great. Not
It's not
great. But I went with Tottenham to beat
Yes.
Forest, Bournemouth to beat Luton,
Yeah.
Man City to beat Palace,
Yeah.
Newcastle to beat Fulham,
Yeah.
and Everton to win as well. Can't remember who
Oh.
were Everton playing again.
Burnley.
Burnley. Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of value out there this weekend because of the pairings.
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt like that myself now.
Did you do your result and bout the score?
I didn't actually.
I did a result and bout the score. So I did. It's worth 28-1.
And
so I did it. It's a treble.
The only reason I didn't do a result and bout the score was some of the games I looked at and thought, that team is shit, they won't score.
And you lumped on Hannibal.
So I lumped on Hannibal instead.
Instead, yeah, absolutely.
That's our boy,
So,
Hannibal the Cannibal.
So there you go. Treble coming up. Result and bout the score. So I did Arsenal versus Brighton. So Arsenal to win and bout the score. Arsenal versus Brighton. I did Brentford versus Aston Villa. Aston Villa to win and bout the score. I think Brentford are probably good for a goal at home. Definitely.
It depends on if the boy in Wemo is back or not.
Yeah, that's true. And then I did Chelsea versus Sheffield United. Chelsea and bout the score. I think at some stage they might cough a goal to Sheffield United, but again,
well, in fairness,
I think we said
Sheffield
that, didn't we?
United should have scored against you boys.
Yeah, true. So that treble is 28-1.
That's a nice little treble.
So, yeah, it's not too bad.
I might have a piece of that one.
Yeah, it's not too bad at all now.
I might have a piece of that pie, Niall, and I'll tell you how it tastes afterwards.
We'll tell you Saturday or Sunday how it tastes if it comes up. Well, listen, my friend.
Just if anyone is worried about me after Sunday, yeah, you'll find me on the Samaritan's helpline, I'd imagine. I'll be just, hello?
You might find you right here. Might find you right back here because we might have to do a match reaction. You don't get off the hook that easy.
I can absolutely tell you I won't be here for a match reaction on Sunday, even before it kicks off. If we beat you, I still won't be here.
I'll ring you on WhatsApp video, and then you won't realise, and I'll plug it straight into YouTube. You won't get away with it. Do you know what it is? By the time we get around to the Thursday, I feel like you're getting off the hook because Marky does the Mondays, so Marky gets all the heat.
No, I'm what do they call it? A prior engagement on Sunday.
Yeah. See, for me, what happens is by the time I get to the Monday, it's rejoicing and euphoria. By the time I get to the Thursday, it nearly turns to pity. You know, so I find it hard to go in.
Your conscience kicks in, does it, Niall?
Yeah, something like that.
You almost want to give me a hug on a Thursday, like, instead of bending me over again, is it?
Absolutely. So listen, we have fun on the WhatsApp group anyway, that's for sure, you know. And you know, I'll be here anyway. Sunday evening, I'll be here bringing the pain if it happens. That's for sure. I'll have the 7-Up can. I'll have the pain. I'll have everything going, whatever needs to be absolutely brought out.
I'll bring the baby wipes.
Might need them. Is that Eddie next to Roman? It certainly is.
It sure
it's
is.
Not Eddie. Eddie next to, is he? He's next to. Is that Roman? Is it, or is it Nash? Oh no, it's Roman. Is it?
Nash and Rollins.
There you go. See that? My site's still working well. There you go. It's Nash. It's great, anyone, isn't it? What a t-shirt. Daz, you're better off watching Celtics versus Magic game on Sunday. That would be a cracker of a game. Right. That's it, folks. So appreciate your time tonight on the show and stuff like that. Of course, let us know in the comments as well. Give us your predictions and all that good stuff.
He went for that, didn't he?
He did. He did again, yeah. Always
back
does.
To the naughty step.
Always does. I tell you, be going on the timeout step again. That's what happens. But if you could subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button, drop a like on the video on the video on the way out. Check out the audios. They go up the next morning. As always, give the video a bit of breathing time, as they say. I will be back either tomorrow or Saturday with a preview for the big game on Sunday. And of course, Sunday evening we will have the match reaction one way or another. And then Monday mashup again as usual. And we start all again as we move into Christmas week.
I won't be here on Sunday. Just telling you all. I won't be here.
Not even a kickoff.
I have a busy weekend. Do you know this weekend is my wedding anniversary?
There you go. There you go.
6 wonderful years my wife has had the pleasure of lying beside me in bed.
I didn't realise people celebrated wedding anniversaries anymore.
What number are we at now?
6.
No, yeah, I know what I'm at. What are you at?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
24. 99.
24?
24, yeah. 99 I got married. 2000 we had Laura.
You got married in 99?
Yeah.
How fucking bad a year was that for you?
It was great. Prince, we're going to party like it's 1999, and I certainly did.
You got married in 1999, and United
1999,
poured misery on you by winning a treble.
Listen, 99 was the least of my worries of United pouring misery on me. He poured misery on me for 25 years. 99 was just 99 was just a flake on that 99.
Just tell me, did you get married in May or June?
I got married in August.
Oh, beautiful.
So I skipped the treble. I got married before the charity shit.
Beautiful. You got married in August. Oh, that's delicious, you know that? Oh, that's helping me out of this situation.
And my first port of call on the honeymoon was Alcatraz in San Francisco. So there you go. What can I say? It couldn't get any better, could it?
I get locked up, won't let me out.
I lay in Al Capone's cell, and I had a headset on me. They had the Walkmans out at that stage for the tour, and I tell you, I haven't felt any different than Al Capone since that day. So there you go. Happy honeymoon. SummerSlam 99. There you go. Have a honeymoon at SummerSlam 99. There you go.
There you go.
What else have we got here? We've got lots of stuff going on here. I am thinking whether to do darts watch along on Wednesday. Absolutely do it, that 100%. Hogan did Piper in the prison cell. Her name isn't Piper, though. Just saying. But there you go. Listen, folks, have a great weekend. Enjoy the football. As I said, I'll be back for a match preview and a match reaction over the weekend. And of course, we'll be pulling Marky over the coals on Monday if it goes the way these boys think it's going to go. But let's see what happens. Until next time, folks, absolute pleasure. And we always appreciate your time that you take in the chat. Keep the subs and everything growing. Really appreciate it. Cheers, pal.
Niall, the next time you see me, I'm going to have a haircut.
It's not looking too bad.
It's not great.
You got that kind of boy band look going on with that quiff at the front.
It's the man band, you know. Nothing boyish when you're nearly 40, pal, yeah?
We should hope not. We will be going to Alcatraz.